Hello and welcome back. Delve with me yet again into the Shattered Isles for the Session 3 Abridged version. Session 3, our adventurers are still in Polance, and the night is wrapping up after Renga has discovered a dead body when he tried to spend a lovely night with a woman, and anyways, so they're wrapping up, and they decide to head to the Polance Inn for the night. Inside, they're greeted by we ended up calling him Lou, the innkeeper, and they found a clever way to pay, as this money's currency is less important than food and drink. And anyways, so they pay for a night, and they sleep in two separate rooms. And as the night is going on, Renga and Dandy roll perception checks well enough to be aware that there are people gathering outside of their room. They believe for nefarious means, and Mim, who decides to sleep under the bed, and Varys are, asleep through the whole thing. Well, when they wake up, Dandy the bard, he decides to play a tune to try to, alert his friends to, like stuff that's going on, but with a nat 1 on the performance, or a critical fail, then it just causes them to bury their heads even more and become more unaware of what's happening. Anyways, the battle proceeds, and Renga, the human monk, locks it down in the front line, and they swiftly take care of the people in their room. And when after taking some hits, after Varys and Mim, they come out swinging. Swinging away, Mim casts a chromatic orb and acid and reduces the intruder in his room to a puddle on the floor. Well, then the floor slowly starts to erode, and then Varys calls upon Eldith for radiant flames, and he lights up the other intruder like a Christmas tree. Meanwhile, in the other room, Dandy and Renga take care of who's left, and they keep one alive. Dandy, who's still trying to come to grips with living outside of orc culture, he warning, this is might be a little bit graphic, but he proceeds to rip the face off of one of the recently defeated foes, and starts gnawing on eating it in front of his friend. And the intimidation check to try and figure out like what it is they wanted, was amplified greatly by the fact that Dandy force fed the face that he'd been eating to the friend of the friend who they are now interrogating. He then proceeds to roll a 100 on the madness table for permanent madness. So, and that's how we created, Fastoff, who he'll show up again. Anyways, so Mim goes to Lou to demand refund and demand everything because they were attacked in their room, and forces Lou to sleep in the room with the dead bodies, and takes his keys to say he could sleep in Lou's room. While they have the keys, they start to investigate because they'd heard that someone hadn't paid their dues, and they come across a body. After speaking with Renga and doing some investigation, they have determined that this body suffered the same fate as the other body they found earlier. So they have come to across a serial killer of sorts. Anyways, they continue on, spend the rest of the night peacefully. They ask around about what they want to do, and having heard about the famous Polance pickles, as referenced in the song, and really, well, the song that I brought up in session 1 is really what made these pickles come to fame. So they venture over to the pickle shop and convince the owner to let them in. He had the door barred shut because he doesn't want people stealing all of his pickles. After talking with him and having some good conversation, they convince him to let him in on the secret, and he proceeds to take them down in the basement and take them to this down into the basement behind this wardrobe. He takes them through into this cave where there is a very magical looking circle on the ground, and he explains to them that this is the circle was created by his family, and it's the purpose of it is to modify this box so that he's able to have an endless supply of pickles now. So you open the box, there's a pickle. Take the pickle out, close the box, open the box, there's a pickle. So an endless box of pickles. But the thing about the Polance pickle is that they are atrocious. So it's a rough constitution check every time. So they do some arcana checks or Mim does an arcana check to, he kind of tells them what he needs. He kind of sees like the inner workings and whatnot. And they ask about if there's any other magic users and whatnot in town. And, like they hear a rumor about the main estate house of Polance. It used to house the magical family, but, they've long since been overthrown, and nobody ventures there. Well, they decide to venture there, and when the outside is a crumbling mess, and it's just like, boarded up, just very aged, seems to be nothing. But as soon as they walk inside, they come to face with this beautiful hall, like this glowing, glistening, everything. It's just it seems incredibly out of place. And rolling perceptions, they're well aware that this is an illusion. They go into the dining room, and so Dandy ventures into the dining room, and there seems to be all these figures around, and they don't really notice him until he plays a song, and then they kind of turn and look, and then they go about their business. Meanwhile, the Varys and Rengar head upstairs and start checking the rooms. Well, in the first room that they find, there's this dog that's in the corner, and it's barking, and it turns to them and jumps up on the bed, but the bed crumbles. So it turns out this is an illusionary dog, and they begin battle, and the illusion quickly wears off, and they realize that they are fighting a bear. And so this once like little poodle dog in the room turns out to be a bear that they handle pretty swiftly. And the night ends with them talking out how, or like what is exactly is going on within this estate house and all the illusions. and how they're going to deal with it. And next time we'll see how that goes. So thanks for stopping by, and come on back.